Good evening. ULTRAKILL has some really good characters, most of which you're actively trying to kill though. One, however, has kept its identity a mystery ever since it was first mentioned in a recent violence layer. As a result, this entity has become a topic of heated debate for the community, and today I want to share some theories and ideas as to what it could be. But first, what the hell am I even talking about? Well, it all begins in the very first layer of violence, the Garden of Forking Paths. Apart from being a superb intro to the new layer, it introduces what is probably one of the most important characters in the game, the Minotaur. As it chases us through the level, we promptly kill it without much challenge, revealing its terminal entry to us. But something feels off about this enemy. Its documentation is extremely cryptic, with its name and most of the document being stricken through. From this SCP-looking ass entry, we managed to figure out that the Minotaur was a gift for the then Judge of Hell, Minos, as a way to build a friendship or truce. Minos, being horrified by this amalgamation of meat and marble, banishes the Minotaur into the depths of violence, where it is left running in endless circles, never more to see the light of day. Thing is, the name of the Minotaurs Creator is strangely redacted, which led to this entity's identity to be heavily debated amongst fans. However, some clues are left for us to decipher this mystery. This entity viewed the Minotaur as a beautiful show of death and despair, leading for me to theorize that this creature, or whatever it is, to be extremely sadistic and cynical, which in turn disgusted Minos. It also had to be powerful enough to summon or create this demon. Its name also consists of two words, the first one being 4 letters long and the second 6, which sparked two paths of theories, the King theory and the Hell theory. I personally believe in the latter, but let's start with the King theory. The King theory, as the name suggests, proposes that the entity was a king within Hell, who created the Minotaur as a sort of truce between him and King Minos. The forerunner candidate for this king is Aegeus. According to the Greek mythos, King Aegeus was the king of Athens and had close ties with both the Minotaur and Minos. Although he did propose a peace deal involving the beast, like the terminal entry suggests, him being the creator of the Minotaur would raise a ton of questions. The biggest one being whether he would really be powerful enough to summon a demon this huge. As we learned from the previous layer's kings, they were not omnipotent like, for example, God or even the angels, which means that their creative power was greatly limited. Otherwise, the motives for the creation of this beast are also questionable and unclear at best. Why would Aegeus create the Minotaur for Minos if he wanted to reconcile or build a friendship with him? Furthermore, King Aegeus wasn't described as overtly cruel or sadistic like the terminal entry suggests, so him seeing beauty in the Minotaur's suffering wouldn't really make sense. One thing to take into account while mentioning this, however, is that Hekita completely changed Minos' character in ULTRAKILL, as opposed to Minos in the myth. While the King of Lust is a loving and empathetic ruler, the Minos in Greek mythology is often depicted as cruel and power-thirsty, almost a complete antithesis to his character in the game. This leads me to believe that Aegeus could follow a similar pattern, with his character being flipped on his head, and him being made into a sadistic asshole who has the emotional capacity to create a cruel gift of the Minotaur for Minos. The other theory, which I believe to be much more credible, is the Hell theory. Hell itself would perfectly fit within the redacted word, and story-wise too. It is a pretty well-known fact within ULTRAKILL that Hell is a sentient entity that is potent enough to summon and create husks and demons out of thin air and souls within itself, as well as communicating with the outside world through terminals. It is also known that Hell sees cruel joy in V1 plowing through Hell, which is why it summons demons and husks for the player to fight for its own entertainment. It's an incredibly cruel, bloodthirsty, and indifferent creature, seeing art, beauty, and fun in suffering. This would make Hell itself the perfect candidate for the Minotaurs Creator. The motive for gifting such a vile beast to Minos, a benevolent and kind soul at heart, could simply be to see his reaction to something so cruel, which I'm sure Hell would find very entertaining. Seeing Minos be horrified and disgusted by the Minotaur could prove to be very funny to Hell itself. At least I would imagine it to be. The fact that the terminal entry for the Minotaur is so heavily redacted could also be weirdly fitting. We know through the P2 ARG that the terminals are either collaborating or are directly controlled by Hell itself, which is why its name appearing as redacted could signify Hell's attempts to hide its sentience and intentional cause of suffering in others for its own entertainment. What do you think this entity could be? Please let me know down in the comments below, because I would really want to hear your theories about who created the Minotaur. And as always, this was Cold Brew. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Ciao.